Hi and welcome into the Kitchen Sink podcast where we talk about everything but the kitchen sink. Okay. See, that's what I like to see, those big lines. Absolutely.
Yeah, this is like take number 3.
Perfect. Guys, we've just recorded a whole little intro and my mic wasn't connected, so that's just great. But I need to get myself comfy. I'm not comfortable. Right. Okay. We're ready to go. Mm-hmm. Hi.
Hello.
See, that was such my YouTube one. Did you hear
Hi.
that? Did you hear that?
Can I do it? Hi.
Kind of close. If you had a bit more of a baritone voice, I feel like you'd be there. Hi, welcome into the Kitchen Sink. We're here for episode 7. I'm joined by my sister. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Brad's sister Leah. I'm his older sister, but not the oldest. So
She don't look it.
There's an old. Well, yeah, it's fine.
It's not a bad thing. It's
I know.
actually quite a good thing.
I don't know why I reacted like that. So we've got an older sister called Amy, then it's me, then Brad, and a younger sister called Caitlin.
You probably won't see the other two on the pod, I shouldn't imagine, because I simply wouldn't really have much to speak to them both about. And that's mainly because we grew up dancing together. We've literally been in each other's pockets from a very young age. Like, we started dancing young.
But even we went to the same college and everything, like...
Yeah, we're just very... the thing is, we're very close in age. Like, it's 17 months between us. So we've been very close our whole life. So I thought I'd have her on the pod. You've seen her in YouTube videos, if obviously you follow the YouTube. So it's not going to be a new face for some of you. But yeah, we've got a lot to talk about today. We're talking all things dance. I've got questions for you from Instagram. A lot about your perspective on things about me. So it's going to be, once again, kind of exposing me, because I've done these kind of things with my mum before. We did a whole video together where she exposed me, and that was brutal.
I mean, that's fine, because I'm quite honest.
She thought I was a bottom.
You asked my mum if you were a top or a bottom?
In that video. Not in the podcast, but in the video that we did, like, when I was still living at home. Yeah, that was one of the questions.
To be fair, I think back in the day I thought you was as well, but you actually openly told me.
Yeah.
That you was. I think it's just the way you act. Sometimes it gives that impression. And
also I've got a big, fat, juicy ass. But no, yeah, so, well, me and my mum did a video back when I was still living at home, and there was, Leah, the questions in that. Severe. These questions aren't that brutal.
I don't know how you dare ask her, because I don't think I would.
I think it's more because it's just like, we're recording it, it's for a video. Like, I won't just go up to my mum randomly one day and be like, Mum,
I know, but
I've got this question for you.
I think I'd feel a bit uncomfortable.
See, I'm not too well. Me and my mum have talked about anal sex before.
Oh no.
Me and my mum have talked about everything.
I have never spoken to my mum about anything to do with sex.
Oh, see.
Ever.
I don't know how I got onto the topic of anal sex, but we did. We kind of went into it.
No.
But also, I mean, I asked her in the pod. I mean, if you haven't seen that episode, guys, go listen. It's a great episode. In that, like, I asked her questions that I probably wouldn't ask her in real life, like the one about a fucking first kiss. When would that come up in real life?
Yeah, but to be fair, then she had a sweet answer.
She had a lovely answer. I mean,
I wasn't expecting
sweet.
That. I mean,
he's dead. Spoiler alert, guys. Sorry if you've not heard that episode.
I apologise for my laugh, by the way, because it's very high pitched.
Yeah, those spikes are saying everything. Let me tell you. But yeah, so the questions won't be as exposing. I'm hoping not, even though I haven't checked the Instagram in a while, so I maybe should check that. But from what I saw already, they're actually going to be quite interesting, and I'm kind of intrigued to hear what your answers are. So, I mean, do we start with more of like an interview style vibe, and then we get into like the deep dance stuff?
Well, I think because from some of the questions we'll probably go on a bit like tangents and
like, stuff.
I always go on a tangent.
Oh, guys, and also later on, I'm probably going to take a break halfway through this or something to collect some words, because we're going to have a very interesting word game. Later on, and I'll go into that more later. But we are going to play word association again, right? So stick around for that till the end.
We'll explain later why.
Absolutely. Oh, I hadn't asked you the main question that I was going to ask every guest. What is your favourite kitchen thing? Like, kitchen-related thing? Go. Now, this is very on the spot. I didn't preface her by telling her that I'd say this, but...
Well, it's definitely not the sink, because I don't like washing up.
Absolutely.
So, sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right.
The kettle.
I mean, it could be out like a mug, anything.
No, I know, but maybe the kettle, because it makes my hot chocolates for my porridge.
That's nice. And you can get some sexy kettles. Like, I love my kettle.
Yeah, and it's just quick and easy to get boiled water.
What's your favourite kind of kettle?
I don't think I know different
Like if you
types
no,
of
but if you own like a house, what kind of kettle would you like?
Like the one that you've got, like the vintagey style
Absolutely, I know that's
ones.
right.
I like those.
Like I like the thought of having one of those see-through ones, but realistically, you just see all the lime scale.
Yeah, and that would bug me.
Yeah, and
my
I'm not,
OCD would go
yeah,
through the roof.
I'm not the kind of person that's gonna clean my kettle as much as I probably should.
Guys, I'm a little bit of a more clean freak than my brother. We used to share a room. No.
But Leah, this was when we were younger. Look at me now. My flat is clean. It's spick span.
No, I know, but you don't have that thing that I have where I see it and then my brain goes, and then
I think that's a different thing.
and then I have to clean.
I think that's a problem.
Everything.
I think that's a problem. Not necessarily just like you like to be clean, because I like to be clean. You're obsessive.
All right.
There's a difference.
We'll go with that.
Well, that's what it is. God, she's already exposing me. Guys, I'm not dirty.
I just exposed myself, saying I'm an obsessive cleaner.
Oh, God, exposed you. Jesus Christ. I'd prefer to be known as too clean than not clean enough, you know? but that's just me. Anyway.
Oh, dear.
God, someone's liked all my pictures, so I can't see any of the...
How dare they?
No, but like,
How
look, it's the
dare
same
you
person.
get all those likes. Guys, it's embarrassing how many likes he gets on Instagram compared to me. Once we posted the same picture and he had, hundreds in minutes and I had one in like 5
well,
minutes.
there's new... Look, have you got your phone? Yeah, grab your phone. How many likes did you get on the New Year's post?
That's what I mean. Are we ready? I'm not very popular.
That's all right.
It's fine.
But the thing is, you don't live your life on the internet. Like, my job is the internet now.
Yeah, that's true. You know, it's embarrassing now.
What?
I now do the... So, wait, it just says others.
Oh, see, that's how you know that someone's insecure about their like count.
It is. I'll admit that.
And I've said this to Liam. People that do the whole like hiding the like count. That's people. Do you know what it is? That's people that have a certain amount of people obviously following them, and they don't get an amount that should reflect that amount of people. You know?
Yeah, that's me.
So how many did you get?
Do I go on there?
On the New Year's Eve post.
Oh, 116. That's good for me.
I got 2,635, and that's bad for me.
Jeez Louise.
Like my most recent one got over 6,000.
Like
that's crazy.
I remember when we was a teenager, because you've had Instagram followers for a while. Like for a while.
Period.
And I just don't understand it. I was like, how is he getting all these followers?
I think being gay helps.
Maybe. Yeah, I just don't understand it. I used to think it all the time when we were younger. I was like, how is he doing this?
Just popular with the masses, what can I say?
Because don't get me wrong, there were times, especially like 2020 lockdown when we had all the time in the world, I tried a bit harder to like do all the, what is it, engagement thing?
Yeah, because I mean, I don't even do that. Like a lot of people like put like the hashtags and stuff, don't they? I don't...
Hashtags, let's be honest, they don't work.
I don't think I've ever typed in a hashtag and been like, oh, who's posting on this? You know?
Whoever goes and searches a hashtag, they don't.
Yeah, no, I just...
So unless it's all the, I'm not going to say that, weirdos that just go and do the like for like thing.
No, they are weirdos.
All right, we'll
like,
say that.
Come on now. I just think, have we not got better things to do with our life at that time?
Yeah. I even tried the thing where, because I obviously were going through a phase of like doing different outfits and stuff, because I thought maybe that's why he's getting the followers, because he's like puts his outfits on there. So I did that, and I even tried tagging.
And I'm also provocative.
As in tagging on the post like the places where the outfit's from.
Yeah.
That didn't help me.
Because sometimes they repost, don't they? And that kind of helps.
Yeah, but like I think I understand Facebook a little bit better, because if someone comments on your photo, then you reply. It pops.
See, I get nothing on Facebook. None.
Yeah, but I only get likes on there because I used to teach, and like it's all the parents and stuff on there.
Yeah, I only go, and to be fair, I only go on there to change my profile picture.
Yeah, once in a blue moon.
Yeah, I don't do Facebook. I think it's boring.
But yeah, I know on that one, if you like reply, then it helps that post come back up onto people's feeds.
I didn't know that.
But on Instagram, I have no idea how that works.
But also, it's realistically, it's not that important.
No, I'm not bothered.
Well, this is the thing, and like, I necessarily wouldn't care if I had like followers either. Do I need to dim this light, or maybe it's just the fact that I'm wearing quite pale colours that's not helping me?
And I've got dark hair. That's what it is.
I'm just looking really washed out. Do you not think?
No.
guys, we're looking at the visuals. So if you're just listening,
yeah,
I'm wearing like. To be honest, this outfit is kind of cute. Other than the joggers, guys, we decided to wear joggers because we're sat in my office. Like we're not This is not that professional.
Also, this isn't a hot drink. Don't be fooled.
No, it's not.
It is Dr. Pepper.
Absolutely.
My favourite drink.
But it's a really cute mug. I gave my grandma that mug and she really liked it. She had a cup of tea out of it. Do you want to know where it's from?
Lip balm on it.
That's all right. Do you want to know where it's from?
Where?
The pound shop.
Really?
The pound fucking shop, that mug. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if it broke soon.
I mean, do you know if you
Oh,
look
she's going to insult it now, are you?
If you look at the ridge there, it's a bit bumpy, you know.
Leah, these are completely aboriginal. These were £16 from...
What does aboriginal mean?
Like wonky. Oh, see, guys, this relates. Guys, this relates to the game we're playing later. I tell you that the word game is going to be something. So I'm gonna keep thinking about words as we go through this that you don't understand.
No, but I swear sometimes he makes words up.
No, aboriginal's a word. Oh, aboriginal's a word.
And I'm like, I swear you just meant that up because I have no idea.
Absolutely not.
Okay, the questions, right?
Yes, let's get into the first segment.
Okay.
I've got segments now.
Segment.
I'm professional. So first segment, we thought, I thought that I'd ask my Instagram people. I'll plug it, the kitchen sink _podcast on Instagram. Follow it. You don't follow it, and do you know who does?
On what?
Your boyfriend.
On what?
Your boyfriend follows my podcast on Instagram, and you don't even follow it.
I didn't know you could follow a podcast on Instagram.
I've made a podcast account.
I think we've established I'm not very good with the socials, right?
But how gaggy is that, guys? She doesn't follow my podcast, but yet her boyfriend does.
Yeah, but he's very supportive and looks at
Absolutely,
everything.
as he should. As he fucking should.
But he also spends a lot of time on his phone.
I don't care.
And probably sees everything.
There is no excuse, right?
All right, I'll follow it.
For you to know, as well as the viewers, it's the kitchen sink _podcast. And I just post like clips, thumbnails, no context clues of like things that we talk about in the pod before it goes up.
Oh, okay.
So like there was
so is that what you posted the thing about questions today?
Yeah, I posted it on the kitchen sink Instagram and my personal one because obviously I get more on the personal one. So we've got questions from both. But yeah, so feel free to check out the Instagram if you'd like to. Clips and things are going to be on there. But anyway, let's get to the questions. Ooh, this is already a juice. Who is your favourite sibling?
This is a harsh. I know the answer, and you know the answer, but I'm less cutthroat than you. Like I know you openly say I'm your favourite sibling.
No, do you know what? Actually, my mum in our podcast episode, she came out and said, "Well, Leah's your favourite," and I went, "You're not wrong." But if my mum says it, then I mean, come on.
Yeah, I just think because we've got more in common.
Well, this is the thing. I don't dislike any of my siblings, but I just think like we're very close.
Like I get along with Amy and Caitlin, but.
Yeah, well,
we just have more in common.
Yeah, this is the thing. And, like, I feel like you understand me most. Do you know what I mean? Out of the three.
Yeah.
And I feel like vice versa.
Yeah, so it is Brad, but...
And I knew that. And that's why I said it, okay? Is Brad annoying?
Can be. It can
What,
be...
even these days?
Yes.
Ooh, go into it.
There'll be some times when I come to visit. Like, there was one time when I was with my boyfriend here.
I know what she's talking about.
And obviously, I don't know if any of you know, but I don't see him all year round because he lives in Greece. And
Her boyfriend, not me.
Yeah.
Because that sounded like me.
So I think this was the day before we was going to New York. And I thought, oh, do you know what? He might let us have his bed and then he'll sleep on the sofa.
Absolutely
but
not.
Obviously not. So then I thought, well, maybe then he's going to get the mattress out from underneath his bed to give us a bed. But no, because he'd put this thing around it.
You can pause right there. Thank you very much. I said, actually, feel free, get the mattress out. But in the morning when we wake up and you guys are leaving at the crack of fucking dawn...
At 6 o'clock.
You'll put it back under.
And you really thought we were going to do that?
Well, if you wanted it out, then yeah. In my opinion, I don't think that's a hard ask because
you
don't understand how difficult that big fat mattress under there is to get out. And doing it on my own, that's not going to happen. Because I hated doing it the first time. And I did all that on my own. Moved into this place on my own, for the most part. So I didn't think that was a brutal thing to say. If you want it out, you can put it back under when you wake me up in the morning to shut the fucking door when you leave. You know?
Yeah, so at that point, he was saying no to us being able to sleep in the same bed.
No, I also said... Well, we can get all the cushions off of both. Guys, I've got plenty of sofas in this place, right? I've got a sofa in here that I film on. I've got a sofa in my living room. I've now got another sofa that came the other day, right? So I've got plenty of sofas and cushions. I said, why don't we take them all off and then you can sleep on them? And she was like, I'm not sleeping on the hardwood floor. And I was like, well, you wouldn't be sleeping on the hardwood floor because you'd be sleeping on the cushions. And they weren't even sleeping in the living room. They were going to be sleeping where this setup is right here.
So my point was, I was like, well, why don't we just have the bed and then there wouldn't be any of that hassle because he could sleep on the sofa. But he wouldn't do that for one night. So that's little points where it gets a little bit annoying.
Well, because I pay the rent.
We're both quite stubborn. That's where like our similarities clash.
Absolutely.
So
I just think I pay the rent. This is my flat. You don't, most of the time, you don't ask me to come.
Exactly. This is where we go.
You just turn up. Like, guys, that night, her and her boyfriend came at, what, 9 p.m.?
I did tell you. No, it was earlier than that because
you told me. You don't ask me. There's the difference, you see. There's the difference. And I've said this before. I'm fine with you coming, but what happens is, and I spoke to Leah about this recently, I bitched about you.
Oh.
Yeah. And I said, do you know what it is? Is that what you do is you already have the plan in motion. You've booked the train. You've booked the bus. You've booked the things you know when you need to be there. Then you tell me that you're coming. So I can't be like, no, I'm not free that evening, or no, I don't want you to come over that evening. Because you've got to come because she's already booked the things in. Does that make sense? So I think I'm well and truly in my own right to say, you know what? No, I'm going to have my own bed.
No, you need some like background here because where I live with my family, as you'll know where Brad used to live, it's in the middle of nowhere. So luckily Brad lives right next to the train station in the city centre, where a lot of the times for me to get anywhere, if I'm going by train, I have to go to Leeds and then go wherever. So it's handy.
Absolutely. Oh, it's completely handy. And I don't disagree. But I also think you could say, Brad, I'm thinking of booking this train at this time.
That's what I
normally do. No, you do fucking not. You say, Brad, I've booked this train, I've booked this bus, it's at this time. I'm coming to your flat the night before, staying over. That's what you say.
Oh, with those type of journeys, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would it hurt you to be like, Brad, I'm thinking of booking this, just so you know in advance, this is what time it's going to be. Do you think it'd be okay if I came and stayed over? Absolutely, because I've been asked.
All right, I'll take that on board for the future.
God, it's like therapy,
but basically, he's annoying a little bit because he gets a bit sassy with it.
Sure, sure. This is my flat. I think that's allowed.
But yeah.
And I'll accept that.
Other than that, I think it's all right. Yeah.
I also think the more we've grown up as well, I feel like, because we're not in each other's pockets.
Oh, yes, we used to argue.
But I argued with a lot of yous. Like, it was the same thing with my mum. We clashed more.
With us, it was more to do with the bedroom because of, as we...
We used to share a bedroom.
My what is it? Something cleaning.
Compulsive. Obsessive.
Did we say that in this take, or was that in the take before?
I don't know. Guys, we did this intro like 3 times, so we don't know what we've said and what we haven't. Ooh. How do you deal with comparisons? Now, this is quite interesting. This does relate to dancing, I feel like.
What, you mean like comparing yourself to others?
Well, no, I mean like me and you being compared. And I feel like that does relate to how we kind of grow up dancing-wise. I know for a fact you used to feel a bit more insecure about not being as close friends with some of the other people at dancing. Stuff like that, you know?
If we're going to really get into it...
Why not?
So, like... Dancing obviously was great, like growing up and stuff, but like, yeah, it's great having your brother there, but the hard truth is, like, boys are seen as better in the dancing world because they're more rare.
Which I was not. I was crap for a while.
And obviously because we were close in age, so like competitions and everything, like there'd be times when we'd be going against each other, and like there'd be times when I'd just be like, oh, I think I might have won this one. I think I might have bet him this time. And then No, she didn't. And then I know because like, well, and this sounds really big-headed, but generally most of the time it was like first and second for me and Brad.
Oh yeah.
But like I know because they go from fourth, third, second to the first, so then it's second me. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, but realistically, you always did kind of think, and that this kind of went both ways because there would be some times that you'd beat me.
Very rare.
But still, even though I won you, it'd still be like, well, I mean, he's my brother. If he wasn't there, I'd be the winner. You know? There is that. So it's not like...
but it is also nice to get the gold medal,
of course.
You know?
And my favourite time was when we got the 2...
Yeah,
we both got first.
They couldn't decide between us. Yeah,
we got, what, 95 marks?
Yeah.
Out of 100? That's unheard of. Back in the day, that was more... that was more rare, I feel like.
Yeah.
To get like that high.
But also, like with me growing up, there might be people out there that's the same. So I was always a bit more of a nerd and just got on with everything and didn't prat around.
You were just a bit more serious about it. Like, you knew that it was something that you wanted to do with your life, and you were, from a younger age, like, more focused on improving, whereas I wasn't.
Yeah, so I think I always had a bit of an insecurity of being a bit boring. Which then no Bradley, and then so then, like, obviously having a brother like Brad, as you can tell with him doing all this stuff now, which has obviously paid off, like his personality sort of thing, is quite a big character. So when we were younger, like growing up, like he always had like the girl mates, and like they all used to be around, like they didn't give two shits if I were there, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like, to be honest, when I look back now, do I care? No.
Because do either of us speak to these people? No.
Yeah. So, and obviously then I did the best training I did to be able to do what I'm doing now, because I was concentrating, whereas Brad prattled around.
Absolutely.
But no, I did feel it a bit back then. Sometimes it does still prop up now, where I think I'm a bit boring. And I hate it. Like, if anyone calls me boring, then it hits a trigger in me.
I think it's more just like people have different personalities. So, like, although, yeah, you might not be as outgoing as I am, like, you also do much better in certain situations than I would. Do you know what I mean? Like, we both kind of excel in different scenarios.
Yeah. I feel like if someone needed, like, someone's help, in, like, when we were younger, they'd come to me.
Yeah, because you were definitely more head screwed on properly when you were younger, whereas I was a free fucking spirit.
Yeah.
I was, like, all over the place.
And I did have friends, but, like, it's just, you know, when
these people did like you.
Yeah, and it's just, like, at school, do you know, like, when you have that class clown where everyone, like, seems to, like, think... But it's not that they like them more, it's just that they're louder, so it just seems like they get more attention. But, yeah. So I used to compare myself a lot to Brad, but I didn't change myself for that, because I was like, that's not my personality. I'm not that big personality.
Well, exactly,
like that.
That's fine.
Well, I can be sometimes. It depends who I'm with.
And I feel like the more you've grown up, I feel like I mean, same for me, because realistically, when I came out and stuff, I've kind of grown into myself. I feel like the more you've grown up, I feel like you've also grown into yourself more.
I used to be super shy.
Yeah, and like I also used to think like you're much more uptight. I feel like as you've grown up, you've kind of like, you've still got your odd tendencies here and there to fall back into your old habits. But I feel like for the most part, you've definitely loosened up a bit.
Yeah, I think a part of it as well, like, with the comparing thing, is that I was always very conscious about, like, my weight and everything, dancing, because obviously there's a lot of girls, but as I was growing up, I was one of those that fluctuated, like, obviously growing and stuff. So
as children do also.
Yeah, but I got made, as we'll talk about a little bit later, but I got made to feel bad about that.
Yeah, because we're gonna go into like more of like a timeline kind of scenario, like when we began dancing and stuff, and we'll probably speak about different stories, because there's a pivotal story that kind of led us to almost the kind of dancing that we do now. Yeah. More than we used to. And that kind of plays into this whole like consciousness that she has.
But then also, like, I wish I'd known back then that, because I used to be like, well, I eat the same as Brad, like, we do the same exercise, we do everything, and yet he's in such good shape. Like,
I was a twig.
He was. But then, like, at that time, like, me comparing myself to him, I'd be sat next to him in the car, and I'd be like, look at my legs, look at his legs.
Yeah, it was like, always the thighs, people. I had, like, twiggy legs, and she had, like, a decent...
muscly,
like muscly legs, yeah.
But yeah, so I always used to compare that. But then I'd be like, obviously saying, yeah, we eat the same, we're from the same family, we do the same thing. But then if I knew back then, boys can do that. They grow more.
And metabolisms.
Like, the metabolism's different. Girls, we naturally have more fat cells in us. Like, we're different. Like, boys and girls are different. So absolutely. I shouldn't have been comparing myself in that way. But
no,
it's hard when you've got a sibling. And
I think when you're growing up so close to a sibling, it's almost like, because I mean, we've been compared in like the way of twins, essentially. Because you got to think, when twins grow up, like, it's really important for twins to have their own life, their own passions, and lead that. Like, although we weren't twins, we were born really close together, and we went into the exact same field. And like, of course, it's like growing up in that scenario, it's going to be hard not to compare each other. Do you know what I mean? I used to like compare myself to you, probably not to the same degree, but like I always thought you were better than me for a very long time. I knew that I wasn't necessarily trying my hardest anyway. Like I didn't really begin to take dancing serious till I was maybe like 14, 15, which is relatively late in the game, people. I'd been dancing since I was 7.
I mean, Brad would refuse to put ballet shoes on.
Yeah, man.
He used to hate... Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
He used to hate putting ballet shoes on. And I'd be like, Brad, get them on.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be the most...
I didn't even used to want to go into ballet class. And then I went to uni, to a ballet school. What was your reaction when I told you that I was into men? Now, she didn't really have a reaction because
I already knew.
And she almost kind of forced me out.
No, I didn't. Right, guys, let me just get this straight while I'm on here, right? Because you seem to have this perception that I forced you, right?
She kind of did.
No, I'm going to explain
I'm
now.
not mad about it.
No, so there was months, right? I'm talking months. And I could obviously tell, sharing a room with him as well, he wasn't being himself. Like, he was snapping at
Nearly
everyone.
strangled my younger sister.
Yeah, like,
Lips
really,
blue.
like, it was bad. So I was like, there's something wrong here. And then, I mean, don't get me wrong, there was an incident where my mum saw something on his phone. And then, for some reason, she came to me. Don't know why. And she was like, I've seen this. And I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do about it.
That was a really embarrassing day in my life.
So me and my mum almost had like that in his head anyways. And then when I knew he was being like this...
Pause, you got to think, like that. There was that time where where me, you and mum were all walking to the bus stop, to the train station, I don't know. Or down to my grandma's, I don't know. And she brought it up with you there. So I knew that you knew. And I was like, I'm not listening to any of this bullshit. I was like, no.
I remember
completely in denial. Guys, I think I've spoken about it somewhere, like in a video or something.
Yeah, so basically I figured out growing up that I'm quite good at judging people's like emotions and like that there's something wrong with them. And I could just tell that there was something wrong with you. So on New Year's Day, I was just like, come on, it's a new year. Like, start the year
do you
afresh.
know how that came up though? It was like you being like, Brad, when are you going to bring a girl home? All this bullshit. Like, you used to say that all the time and I used to dread it. Every time that had come up, I'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake. I'd shrink down. I'd be like, shut up. And then she went, that one day, she was like, oh, boy. She was like, oh, boy. And then she was like, come on, New Year.
Yeah. So I was just like trying to make light heart of it because I could just tell he just needed to just get it off his chest. He just needed to tell people. So I didn't force you. I just said, come on, it's a new year. Like,
oh no, I didn't see it as like forcing in like a mean way. Like, I was kind of happy that you brought it up. Like, looking back though, obviously, like in the moment, I was like, oh my god.
Well, at that time when he actually like he went, okay, I'm gay, like that. Right?
I screamed it. I screamed it.
So then, so he cried. So then I felt really bad because I thought, well, I've just made this happen and he's crying.
Relief.
But then I felt good about it because then he came to me afterwards and was like, I was so glad you made me do that. Yeah. So it was a good thing.
Well, yeah, because from my perspective, I was never really worried about you, like, girls and sisters and stuff. It was more like I hadn't quite come to terms with it anyway. Like, it was like, I didn't think I was like fully gay and accepted that I was gay till pretty close to that time when you like kind of like
because I could tell the difference in your
but like for a while everyone was kind of just telling me that that's what was going off, obviously bullies and stuff, and I've definitely spoken about this before, but yeah, in my brain I was like, well, I don't know yet.
Do you know what's the big thing in my brain? At high school, when we had to do, well, we didn't have to, but they asked us to do a performance in one of the assemblies. I think it was for my year. And so we did one of like our duet that we normally do at competitions. And then I remember going into maths. Like, obviously I was this nerd at school, like didn't get into trouble at all. And I remember going into maths afterwards, and there were some boys from my year that was like saying stuff about you. Like, they didn't say anything about me because I'm a girl.
Did you tell me this? I've never heard this, I don't think.
Have you not?
I don't think so.
So let's just say it's the first time I've ever been sent out of class. And
really?
Yeah, I got super angry. It's the only time I ever get like angry. It's more like, there's probably a lot of people out there, it's more when it's about your family. Like, I'm
the same.
I can take it for myself, but when it's for someone else, like, and because it's the thing that's been going on since he was little, and like I just found it funny that they had nothing to say about me, but like everything to say about you. So then my teacher, luckily, she understood, but she just wanted me to go outside to calm down. Yeah. Because I was getting very angry.
Ooh, what? Can you recall a time where we had like our biggest fight? Someone's put, what was yours and Brad's biggest fight about as a child? Like, what was his worst fight? Because we had some roaring fights, tell you that. Like, what was the fight about when we got locked in the bathroom? What was that about?
Who knows?
But
we used to fight a lot, but over the randomest stuff. Like,
yeah.
But I don't really recall like a big fight. Like,
Because it was always about something stupid, probably just like a disagreement, but it was never like anything serious, and we always like got friends again.
It'd probably be something like he's put something in a certain place in the bedroom, and I don't want it there in the bedroom, and it's like just.
Oh, do you know what
like
I used to do that used to rile you, and vice versa? Actually, no, I think you more used to do it to me, and it used to rile me to no end. When she'd take everything in the room that she didn't like that was mine out of place, and she'd put it in a big pile in the middle of the room, and then it'd just be there, and I'd have to clean it. She used to do that all the time.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it used to fucking rile me because I just thought, well, what if I wanted to go around in this joint and move all your shit that I didn't like of yours? You wouldn't like that? And I think I once or twice probably did that, and you hit the roof. And I was like, yeah, it's not fucking nice, is it? That was a big thing for me when we were growing up. That riled me to
I'll have a think, but I can't really think of any like big arguments.
What's your favourite thing about me? Because I feel like we've dragged me enough. Is there anything that you actually like about me? Because we do actually get along, people, I promise.
No, I think you've got I like his style, his fashion sense. I think it's more like your confidence and that you're not scared to just tell people what you think.
Yeah. To be fair, my mum kind of said something similar in our episode, because she was saying how like she used to like dread whenever I'd open my mouth and say shit, but now she actually kind of likes that about me.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's sometimes like that can be the worst thing for me at that time, like if it's telling me something that he thinks, but
just being like getting straight to the point
with the sassiness that we said
earlier. I don't fuck around.
But like I've learned from Brad that I need to be less of a doormat. I suppose,
and stand up for yourself. Yeah.
And that's one of his things that he's good at that I've taken for myself a little bit. I'm not obviously anywhere as blunt as him now, but
no, but I think it was more just like being headstrong in what you want and like not letting people, like you said, walk all over you. That was like a big thing for you at a certain time, and I feel like we had a few chats about it, and I feel like that's helped you so much, because I can tell now you really do stand up for yourself.
It was just
and know what you want.
A moment of remembering that it's my life and not someone else's.
Absolutely, and not constantly being a people pleaser all the time, because you at the end of the day, like, you know what you want to do with your life, or in whatever situation, you know what you want to do. It's just like being strong enough to be like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't agree with what you're saying. Whatever, I'm doing it my way, and that's it. Done. No questions.
Yeah.
What's your star sign, moon sign, and rising sign?
I only know my star sign.
I'm the same. I think I've got a bit of Cancer in me. I think it's like my Leo is like my main, and which I think is your star sign. My moon and my rising, I think, are maybe both Cancer. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm a Pisces, but
I don't know what they mean. This is not good for me.
Pisces is the one with the
Weighing scales.
Fishes.
Oh,
it's not weighing scales. It's the fishes.
Is that
right?
Libra? There's one that's like weighing scales.
Yeah, it's not Pisces. But Pisces are known for being very emotional, which is me down to the ground.
Yeah, now that is the truth. Should we delve into this and see what yours says about you, and we'll see if it actually rings true?
I think mine is quite accurate.
I think it'll be fact.
I think it
so
is.
You're a Pisces.
Yeah.
Oh, what kind of person is a Pisces? This is like a pretty short thing, but we can obviously delve in more. But it says, Pisces people are known for being emotionally sensitive. Absolutely. Guys, it's a rarity that she doesn't cry every day.
When I was growing up, my uncle used to bet me £1, as in like he'd give me £1 for every day I didn't cry. And let's put it this way.
She didn't get many pounds.
I never got the pound. I remember there was one day on Christmas Day that we was in our like old house. I don't know if you remember it, Brad, because his memory is shocking. We had like a baby gate on the bottom of the stairs, and I was like, right, today I'm not going to cry. It's Christmas Day. But for some reason, I decided to climb over the baby gate, fell off.
Yeah, I don't recall this.
The baby gate actually came off the wall, and I fell, and obviously then cried because I hurt myself.
Why did you climb over a baby gate? Were you a baby?
No.
How old were you?
I must have been about 4.
Then why did you climb over the baby gate? Could you not just open it?
Well, I just thought, I'm going to climb and climb over the baby gate, clearly. But yeah, I remember that day vividly that I was going to get the pound and I didn't.
It says gracious.
Oh, for Pisces.
Do you know what that means?
Gracious.
That might be a word that we might bring back later. And emotionally aware.
Ah, that's good, because I said I'm quite emotionally aware of people.
You are. I think gracious I think you are gracious. You shouldn't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
But you'll know later on when we do the word game. Do you know what star sign your boyfriend is?
Aquarius.
Is an Aquarius. Well, it says here, who should Pisces marry?
It's not Aquarius.
It's not Aquarius. It's Taurus, Virgo, and Cancer.
I don't think I know any of them people.
Well, moon is in the 5th house. What? What the fuck is all these houses?
I don't know.
Oh, wait. The moon is in Aries.
Right.
So your rising sign, that's like the moon,
Yeah.
Aries. And it says nothing quite happens soon enough with this position of the moon. Oh.
What do you mean?
There is an inherent impatience with getting what they want. Slay.
That is me.
Slay. Life is a series of emergencies for lunar Arians.
Is that me?
Yeah. They live in the moment and have a hard time waiting for things to happen. Whims of the moment take absolute precedence in their lives. So you've got urgency there.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
Well,
sometimes it can be when I do things straight off the bat.
yeah,
And then
impulsively.
yeah.
Your Mercury is your Pisces.
What?
Your Mercury.
Isn't Mercury a planet?
Yeah, but it's part of this. It's part of the whole thing. She sponges up the feeling and moods of other people.
Guys, he's sat here with the hand out like he knows everything right now. Just
Right?
in case you're just listening.
She sponges up the feelings and moods of other people.
Oh, so that just proves exactly
See,
what I
I
said
know exactly
earlier.
what I'm talking about.
Right?
And the
Not you, I said it.
and the environment around her. Moody communication, sometimes very talkative, other times withdrawn.
Yeah.
This is
so me.
This is on. Tactful, preferring not to offend anyone. Fucking hell. It's like your fucking diary. Fertile imagination.
What does that mean?
Not sure.
I'm dreaming of babies.
Surely not.
No, that is not me.
No. Flexible mind. Not sure. You're quite stubborn.
Oh, does it mean like flexible as in like opinions though, or
I've no idea. It doesn't say. Sometimes gullible, absolutely.
very gullible?
But usually simply open to possibilities. Indirect, it can be very hard to pin her down to any one belief or decision. I don't think that's right. Maybe it is. I feel like you maybe are kind of here and there.
I'm a little bit fluid. I'm not like strong opinionated.
No.
Like I do listen to other people's opinions and then decide. Like I'm not like set in what I'm thinking. Do you know what I mean? So maybe.
Venus in Pisces, people project themselves as dreamy, soft-hearted partners. I wonder if Costis would think that.
Maybe we should ask him.
Everything about the way they flirt promises a lovely time. Oh, God, she's getting a bit saucy. Theirs is an elusive charm. They are sweetly playful, a little moody, and perhaps a little irregular.
What's that mean?
They appreciate romance and poetry. Do you like poetry?
I mean, I don't know. No one's ever written me a poem.
Costis, get on it. And they prefer to feel out both you and the relationship you share. So don't expect. What?
I wrote Costis a poem.
So you're the poet in this scenario. Their sensitivity. You wrote him a fucking poem. Wait a minute. Wait. Let's journey back.
When was it? It wasn't like it's just been his birthday. So
What did you write him a poem about?
No, it was just like a light-hearted, funny poem.
Right.
Like about him. You can ask him.
You're a comedian.
Yeah, I like to think so.
You know
I'm
what?
really not.
That's enough of that.
Yeah, I agree.
But I feel like all kind of what we read
it's
out there
kind
it was ringing true. Worst drinking story, like as in the worst thing you've ever done drunk.
I don't think I want to say that on the podcast.
I don't think we can go into that one, unfortunately.
You know which one I'm talking about.
I do, yeah.
Sorry, guys, but no.
Oh, why did you start dancing? I guess this kind of just leads us on now into a little timeline of dancing.
So I felt like, because Brad started dancing before I did.
I did.
Right? But I always wanted to dance. So I remember, and sorry, Mum, if you listen to this, but I remember wanting to dance, and then my mum and my aunt, well, we used to call her Auntie Julie, didn't we? But
yeah. She's not really
our auntie. Do you know when you just got one of those family friends that you call the auntie?
Yeah.
Like, it was like that, I think. And so they took Brad and Scott to dance class. I was there on my own at home.
Yeah.
Right? And
So
to go
Scott
and
was Julie's
dance.
son. And we're both now woohoo.
Yeah. But then, like, I remember a leaflet coming through the door for these street dance classes that was literally, like, down the road from where we live. So I was like, Mum, can I go to this one? And she said, yes. Then I went to that one, came home from that class, and then showed my mum this routine. I remember the song. Do you remember the song?
Absolutely not. Of course I don't.
Gwen Stefani, Hollaback Girl.
Absolutely. That makes so much sense. You love that song.
My very first routine I ever learned. And then I remember Brad being like, oh, I don't come back and learn anything like that. So then, of course...
Well, yeah, because I went to fucking, what was it? Ballet and tap or ballet and modern?
Yeah. But obviously, as we know, Brad wasn't really into
And it was actual training. You were going and learning routines.
Yeah, especially like at a young age. Like, you didn't want to do ballet.
No, and I want there to be like, right, first position, please.
So me and Brad started dancing when he was 8 and I was 9, which is actually quite late.
I was 7. My mum told me I was 7.
No, you were 8.
My mum told me I was 7.
I remember because I was 9 and you were 8.
My mum told me I was 7.
Well, I started in like September, October time. So would you have been... Yeah, you would have had your birthday. There's only that time when there's 2 years between us, between March and
Well, no,
August.
because when did I start? Maybe it was before my birthday.
All right, so maybe you were 7.
My mum told me I was 7.
But we started at the dance school that we were at for a few years when he was 8.
Yes.
And I was 9.
Absolutely.
All right, we've cleared that up.
Absolutely. Totally. We're on the same page.
Yeah. So then obviously then he came to the dance school that I was at, which was like a freestyle school, which... Do you know what? Actually, when I look back now, like, I have some positives from it, because if it weren't for there, I wouldn't be able to turn like I do.
Likewise, I think I'm the same.
I wouldn't have, like, the little tricks and stuff that I do, I don't think. And, like, I just think we're a bit ballsier.
Yeah,
and,
we're a
like,
bit more daring, a bit more, like...
And, like,
Not afraid.
my nickname, like, when we got to the other school was, like, Disco Dolly, because I used to be a bit...
She had the moves.
But I think I got that from freestyle.
More than
like,
likely, yeah, I'd imagine so.
And don't take offense to this, but I feel like sometimes when you grow up just doing ballet, modern and tap, you can be a little bit
rigid,
yeah, and not open to trying the different styles and being a bit more loose.
Yep. When we used to do tap, Leah used to have like a little twitch, because she was never as much of a natural tapper as I was.
So as I was just saying about being like loose, I was always a bit more rigid like with the ballet sort of thing, and being a bit more, everything's got to be so placed and
that kind of carries over,
whereas obviously Brad was a bit more of a fling
into
loose
tap
boy.
Don't call me fling boy, that's trauma for me. That's major trauma for me. That's traumatic response. So we used to, like, obviously we started doing tap, we had to do private lessons. Yours was the twitchy hand and I used to just get low and low and low. Because do you know what I think it was? Like, maybe I just wanted to see what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I'm looking at my feet.
At your feet.
Yeah, just make sure it's all, in order.
Yeah. Because obviously we started like ballet, tap and modern quite late, like 12 and 11 years old. And I think it was even like 13 when we started doing tap and stuff. 12,
yeah, because we 13. We need to journey back. Before we get into all that, we need to talk about actually freestyle and get into that. Oh, yeah. Because there's a lot to this freestyle school. So if you don't know, freestyle is quite a acquired taste.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, they call it like disco dancing, don't they?
Yeah, well, it used to be called more disco dancing. Now it's definitely like freestyle. Because I actually recently used to teach at a freestyle school, and I was not doing freestyle with them, trying to like bring out a bit more technique in them.
Yeah.
But essentially what it is like, rather than like your normal competitions where like you'd have a dance and stuff for like ballet, tap, modern, that kind of thing, freestyle was essentially you all got put in this big gymnasium hall thing, and you'd just run round as fast as possible. This brings back
trauma.
Yeah, run round as fast as possible. And the whole point of it was to get, so the judges would be dotted around this hall.
Yeah, they'd be stood around the edge.
Yeah, and the whole point of this whole thing was to get their attention and get in their face.
Which
and
obviously
move and
you
gyrate.
can tell from our personalities, this was probably more at Brad Street than mine.
It was. I absolutely excelled. And they you got to think I did get into the champs.
What for?
Got into champs for solos.
Did I not?
You didn't.
Did I get into inters?
I'm not sure. I think you were in inters, because I remember I had to do that spot where I had to climb the ladder and stuff. And I did it in slow. That was my slow one where I had to climb the ladder. Do you remember?
Climb the ladder?
Yeah, I was on my knees and I used to have to do this. That was my slow routine, my spot. Because then I also remember in my other one for fast, because it was slow and fast.
Yeah.
And pairs. We did
We
pairs.
used to, rock and roll.
We've got stories. But anyway, so I got into champs, right? And there used to be this thing called like a spot where you essentially would do like the normal like circuit, whatever. And then if you got down to a final number, I'm not sure how many, they'd make you do a spot where it's like you on your own in front of all these people.
Yeah, they all go and stand at the front, don't they?
Yeah.
And then you have to go like down from the back
To do your spot.
towards them.
Because my trick was that thing with like in a press up position, leg on my thingy.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then I remember in my fast routine, it ended where I walked back like this, like, come on, audience. If you're just listening, I'm like flicking my fingers, like urging the audience to clap. But yeah, I remember that was always so embarrassing. And I remember when they set that on me, I was like, oh my God, I've not got the personality for this. That was the personality of like a boy that was like self-confident, like, yeah, bro, come on. And I was like this little twiggy little fag, like, come on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so basically in freestyle you start at like beginners and like your costumes get better as well as you go into the next like thing. So beginners, it's very like plain, like
you're not allowed any sparkles or anything.
No. And then you like have 3 lives, is it?
Yeah, it's 3 lives and then you move into starters.
So you have to like win, or sometimes you could lose life becoming second. It depends how many
now
were
I
in the
think
section.
it's third. It's up to third now, yeah.
So then you lose your lives and then you go up to the next section. So it was beginners, starters, inters, and then champs, right?
Yeah, now there's another one on top of that.
Is there?
Yeah.
So starters was like you could have a bit more of a costume. It's got like a design to it, but no diamantes.
Yeah, it was like it could have like feathers and stuff and like that sort of thing, just no sparkles.
Yeah, I remember inters you could have sparkles because my black costume had sparkles.
That's when it started. And then champs, I think, was where like
over the top.
Yeah, over the top. Sometimes, like, most of the time, it'd be like you'd get a sponsor and they'd do your costume for champs, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because we got into champs for pairs.
And we got a sponsor.
I believe.
Yeah.
And we got a sponsor.
Yeah, because that was that red costume with the big... Guys, was so heavy.
I'll be putting pictures on the screen.
I had a massive, like, headpiece. To be fair, what I had to wear for these competitions were ridiculous.
I loved my last costume
headpiece, like, up here, massive butterfly on my head, like that. But then we had to wear the biggest eyelashes in the world.
And guys, for eyeshadow, my mum was no makeup artist, so like the eyeshadow was like, Leah, come on, have you seen these pictures? It was white, almost like it looked like liquid. White liquid on the lid.
Sorry guys, I was drinking.
And then it was almost a cut crease. But it was just a stark black strip. It was quite rough. So that was like the outfits were over the top. We had some crazy outfits. There's a few stories from that, and then we can obviously move on to the more serious stuff. But my biggest thing in my brain when I think back to that time was like the first ever time we went out for rock and roll.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Yeah,
I was thinking.
I don't think we've got pictures of that specific outfit, have we? It was an orange outfit.
And it had like a tassel down the side, like a
It
string
had a few.
thing.
It had a few like little white bits just dangling off.
No, it wasn't white. It was still orange, but like a string
paler orange.
thing.
It was a paler orange.
I actually think it was like my belt thing.
It was a paler orange.
All right, and then came down like that. But then he, as we were dancing, so this is the first time we did rock and roll.
Yeah,
right.
Very fun, by the way. I will say.
And he stood on my tassel, and my skirt came down. Right.
It did. Did you have knickers on? I hope you did.
I can't remember, but I just remember being very embarrassed.
But did we continue? Yes, we did, because we're what professionals.
I went like this and pulled it up. Like
yeah.
It was dreadful. But I think after that we changed costumes, didn't we?
Yeah, we changed costumes because we were like, that ain't happening again.
My favourite rock and roll costume was when I had the black, like, little pleated thing
and
with
like
the
we had
white
the shirt.
trim,
That was kind of
shirt.
like, that was kind of as like rock and roll costume.
Yeah.
We had the denim ones.
We had the denim ones,
we?
but my favourite one was the black and white one.
Oh, I kind of like the denim because I liked my outfit more in the denim.
Do you remember that thing where I had to go into bridge, like crab, and he had to play the drums on
my
my belly?
I had to play the bongos on a belly.
Because basically me and Brad were like the same height growing up.
Yeah, which was kind of unheard of because most of the pairings was like the boy had to be way taller so then you can throw the girl.
Like the rock and roll list, but like I don't know how we kept winning. We
Like
didn't do any of that.
The cry baby. Yeah. I used to be so insecure that. Do you remember those two people?
Mm.
We always used to see them at like every competition. They'd always be against us. Don't get me wrong. I think we'd most of the time win.
We did. Brad, rock and roll was the one that like we could pretty much nail in.
But I think it was just because we had that kind of like groove about us. Do you know what I mean? And I think because we were like very similar in the way we danced, we were very in sync. We were very like giving it all this.
I wish we had a video of how we did it.
But
it was so fun.
But yeah, and then guys, if you'd like a video of us like doing as old dancers, Because Leah, I would love for us to recreate the wrecking ball routine.
Ball, yeah.
So maybe we could try and get into a studio and do that before you go to this Greece contract.
Yeah.
That would be super fun. So guys, let me know if you'd like that, because I've heard a lot of you want the dance content.
Yeah.
So if you would like a video where we try and like recreate our old routines or just do them now, that would be super interesting, and I'd be down for that.
I think I actually still remember the wrecking ball dance.
Oh, absolutely, same here. But yeah, so like like one of the big lifts that was like kind of well known in the rock and roll world was essentially, it's called a crybaby.
Oh, okay.
When like you'd essentially pick up the girl, you'd like bend down with her, like you put your body forward, rock them like a baby, right?
Yeah.
They'd put their legs on either side of you, and then obviously you'd throw them back up in the air, and then they'd be right above you, just like probably kicking or whatever.
Them up with their hips.
Yeah, and like this couple, these two people, the girl was stick thin, and the guy was a nice muscly man. And they always used to do that lift every time, and I used to be like, for fuck's sake. And I used to be so pissed off every single time because I was so annoyed that we couldn't do it, because I remember us trying.
Yeah.
Constantly trying to do it, and I could not. I had the twiggiest little arms.
No, but in your defence, we were the same height, but he was always a skinny kid and I were a chubby kid.
Yeah,
so
like
that didn't help.
The weight didn't match out. But yeah, so that was maybe one of the funniest things. Like rock and roll was definitely fun. Kind of next thing I feel like we should probably talk about is why we stopped freestyle. Now, guys, this might get a bit deep, but I think that's fine. We've been fun.
No, to be fair, I have had a few deep moments.
Good.
But it's okay.
So, do you want to take the lead? Because I mean, a lot of it was to do with you.
Yeah, well, it was, wasn't it?
The thing is, like we've said, I was very go with the flow when I was younger, and I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever, I'll do whatever. But essentially, I'll kind of start off, and then you can take the lead on like the proper serious stuff. Essentially, what kind of was going on and started to crop in was like a lot of pressure on the way you look in that kind of dance circuit, and I mean just dance in general.
Bearing in mind at this point I was like 10, 11.
Yeah. So essentially we had this, I'm not going to go into detail, but this very interesting teacher, and it was like this man and woman, they were together, whatever. There was loads of stuff to do with that we're not going to get into, because that's way more serious than we need to get into. Mm-hmm. But essentially they kind of almost started to target Leah, because she was like kind of going through that stage where, you know, like you mature in certain aspects, your height's maybe not catching up, whatever. Like we all have that kind of stage. Like I went through it. We all do. They started to really like go in on her about that kind of thing. And like it even like manifested itself in whenever we'd do private lessons and stuff. Like it was always like almost a torturous experience, and it wasn't always about the dancing side and like your ability. It was a lot to do with how she looked, and that essentially they were not happy with what was going off, which realistically was completely out of your control because you were a child.
Yeah, I feel like if they had a big problem, then go speak to my mum about it. At that time, I wasn't cooking for myself. I wasn't like.
But also, we weren't unhealthy kids.
No, that's what I mean. Though. But my mum would have told them where to shove it.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, they shouldn't be putting that on me at 10, 11 years old.
Yeah, they never actually went to the parents.
No.
It was always straight at her, and then it was like she was supposed to come up with a reason or like take all that on her own shoulders when like she's, like she said, 12, 13.
Yeah, 10, 11, I wasn't 12.
10, 11 even.
Yeah. And basically I remember there was one day he was like, you need to eat veal, you need to eat this. And
liver.
Like, yeah. So, and I was a bit of a fussy kid, like with what I eat.
But I mean, like any 10, 11-year-old would be, like I wouldn't be sitting down to chop up some liver.
Yeah. Yeah, so, but then the thing was, is that, like, yes, tell me what to eat, whatever, but, like, then they would sit there in our private eating a McDonald's together.
Yeah. Like it was very hypocritical. And they also were not directing any of this at me.
No.
It was all just her. Like, if they'd have said, like, right, now we both, like, we all, like, you two, like, because obviously you're progressing, whatever. If they'd have put it in a way where it was like, you two are progressing, to take you to the next level, you need to have a better diet, both of you. We'd suggest, like, maybe to help you out with stamina and stuff and like endurance, maybe try these foods. But it was never that. It was like, we don't like how you look. You need to, and this was at her, you need to eat these foods. Tell your mum to buy them. You need to tell us if you've eaten it, whatever.
And guys, I wasn't obese or anything. I wasn't. I was
She
just
literally had a bit of puppy fat.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
It was literally mainly on my belly.
Yeah.
My legs weren't even that big. It was just my belly. And it was just like, because I hadn't grown yet. And like a lot of kids, like what's hard for me now is like I teach sometimes. I see it with kids now, and it still goes on now in certain places. And it breaks my heart to see that those kids are getting disheartened because they're going through the same thing I did.
Yeah, and they're being told that their body's not correct when they're not even...
They haven't even matured.
They're not adults.
They haven't gone through puberty yet. Like, they've still got growing time to go. So, like, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that I've been through that, so I know. So then I can now speak to these children and tell them that I was the exact same. And obviously,
I know what you've been through. So, like, there's people that I obviously teach now that I know get degraded, even, or like, not even straight at the kid. It's like, when you're a teacher, you hear certain stuff, and like, you'll hear some teachers like make comments about certain kids when like they may be like maturing a little bit or whatever. Like, there's been kids that I've known, like, their body has started to change, and then a teacher's seeing that, and then it's like they're like dragging it, and I'm just like, this kid is growing up. This is a part of growing up. You grow into your body, and like, things change. That's just the way it is. Like, I don't think that should be a like point to degrade a child and make them feel shitty about. Do you know what I mean?
Like, I think fair enough if it's at the point of like, this is unhealthy now, like they look unhealthy, like they're massive, whatever, like where it's obesity, like,
and it can go either way.
Like on the flip side, if it was anorexia, like I've had a case before, like with a girl where I was seriously concerned for her because she was on the thinner side, and I've gone to the parents. I haven't gone to that child and be like, you need to eat, you need to do this, because it's something deeper inside with that where you need to go and speak to them. But you go to the parents about it.
You never go to the kid.
You don't drill the kid on what they need to eat, because they don't understand. And
then it's like deep psychological issues then on top of like everything else, because growing up is hard enough as it is without being told that your body's not what it needs to be when you're literally just growing into yourself. So essentially it was a lot of that, and there was a certain time when we had a private lesson one day, and these issues had kind of been going on and on and on, like it was like a big thing, and we kind of began to dread going. I remember like we just like kind of hated it, because we always knew that like that kind of issue would always crop up or whatever. And then obviously I know it wasn't directed at me, but obviously it took a toll on me, because obviously, like we've said, it's different when your sibling or your family's being degraded because you want to stick up for them. And I was the same. So obviously like they'd be saying all this stuff to you, and I could see how it was affecting you, and obviously it was pissing me off. On top of it, obviously upsetting you. So the basically became a day where this issue kind of cropped up again, but it was really severe, and I remember it made you cry in the lesson. And then it was like...
But then I got shouted at for crying.
Yeah, they like went in on
it. At me. So then I was like, that's it, I'm not going back. And then my mum was like, okay, you don't have to. And then Brad was like, okay.
Yeah, we literally got in the car, and like Leah was crying. I was just like, whatever. But then I remember like my mum, you kind of just said like what had happened, and then my mum was just like, right, well, you're not going back. And we were like, perfect. And then we just never went back.
Yeah. It wasn't really her, it was more him.
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely. Do you know how I said, obviously, we were taught by a male and a female, and they were, like, together? It was always him. The male, which I think is almost even worse. Like, a grown man telling a young girl...
to eat.
And like, observing her body.
Yeah. Well, we kind of know now.
I mean, there's more to that, which we're not going to get into, but...
Basically, let's just say it dodged a bullet, really.
Yeah, completely.
Like, leaving was dodging a bullet.
So yeah, definitely dodged a bullet in that respect. And then obviously straight after that, we kind of joined this other school, which we've kind of spoken about and hit on, which we started doing like modern tap, all that sort of thing. That's the school that I still teach at to this day.
That's where I stayed at for a while.
A very long time, yeah.
We always got praised on how quickly we went through the grades. We progressed in those short amount of years. Because really from like 12 to 11 till you going to college at 18, that's only 7 years. Yeah. And you went from being brand new, a beginner in ballet, tap and modern, to then going to Rambert to do ballet and contemporary.
To literally go into a ballet and contemporary school, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know if I told you this, but I felt like when it was, because obviously I'm a year older than Brad, I felt like when it was my turn to like go to dance college, and I'm talking at 18 at this point, not even 16. So at 16, I had no idea.
It was unheard of. Like I didn't know that. Well, obviously, I probably knew that that's where kids go, but I didn't know that we had to be going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because obviously we went to essentially. So we grew up. Yeah, we had fun. Whatever. We then kind of. When we got to 16, obviously we left school. We went to normal college to do A levels, whereas a lot of dancers these days are almost pressured more and more to go to uni and like dance college earlier.
Yeah.
Just to get a head start on everything.
I don't know why though, because a lot of companies don't hire till you're a bit older. Anyways.
No, and realistically, like I was not ready at 16. I would not have been able to go at 16.
Yeah, a lot of them prefer for you to be like over 20.
Yeah.
I remember there was one day I went into the changing room and like there's two girls, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They'd been to auditions that day, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And
yeah, but they'd got to know it through their school, hadn't they? Because their school was more into dance. Obviously, our school wasn't. Ours was science school.
Yeah, we didn't do dance at like normal high school.
Like GCSE, no.
Like, but yeah, their school. I think it was like. I won't say the
It
name
was a performance one though, wasn't
it? But yeah, so they came in and was like, "Oh, we had this audition today, or we've got it for tomorrow, or whatever." And I just remember sitting there thinking, "What are they talking about?" And I asked them, and there was like, "Oh, we've got like Bird audition or like Odang or something." And I was like, "What are these places?" I didn't even have any idea. So like at this point, it's too late for me because I had no plan. Like.
She had no idea where she... And, like, you usually have to, like, apply and then you have to be accepted and then go to the audition. And then it's, like... I think by the time that they were auditioning, too, it was relatively late in the game. Like, because auditions can start for these kind of things, like, October.
Yeah, but then, like, even my mum didn't know about it. So, like...
None of us.
She couldn't even help me, like, get auditions and stuff. So... And then I just felt like... Not forced, but then I felt like then my path was kind of just drawn into the teaching side. So like,
yeah, because that was kind of the next thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like you'd kind of missed your opportunity to then go to a uni and like really do it professionally and train more professionally.
Yeah, I felt like I was never really asked if I wanted to go there. I felt like I was just expected to just... I don't know if this was because they thought I would never be a dancer because of my body shape or whatever. That's what always used to be in the back of my mind. So they thought, oh, she'll just teach or whatever. So then I was just there for another 3 years doing my teacher training, which is fine. Like, I'm glad I've done that. Like, I've done a lot of teaching and I'm happy with what I've done.
Yeah.
I have no regrets with that. And look, now I've got my teaching qualifications. I don't
so when you're done professionally, you can go straight back into it.
Yeah, so that is, like, one of the benefits from that. Like, I don't regret that at all. But I just feel like I wish I had more information at that time and that I was aware of it so I could make the decision on my own. But then this kind of had a thing with us because then I was a bit like, I'm going to openly say it, I was jealous of what Brad was doing because I didn't get that opportunity. Because obviously he's a year younger, so then my mum then had that awareness because I came home being like, oh, these are all going to dance college, they're all doing this. And
so then it was that happened in time for me to then be like, oh well, I can go to dance college like in a year when it's my turn, like I can go.
But also I feel like they spoke to you about it a bit more as well when it came around for you because
not really, because I didn't do you know who told me to go to the Ron Bear audition? No. It was, I got a thing through from Vicky Kershaw because Maddie, essentially, when it was my turn, Maddie helped me, but I don't think she was as much in the picture when it was your turn.
No, I don't think she was.
Maddie took over a lot of the ballet stuff. She's a lovely woman, love Maddie. I haven't seen her in ages, actually. But she essentially took over more of the ballet side when it was more my turn, like the year after you and before I went. She was like our ballet teacher more or less full time. So then she obviously saw to me, I went through to that day for the Manchester one, spent the day through there because she had contacts in that end. Yeah. So obviously she was able to help me on the ballet side, and obviously I was growing into ballet and enjoying ballet. So she helped me get a day at this ballet school. They offered me a place. Unfortunately, I couldn't go there because they didn't allow like student loans at the time. I'm not sure if they still do, but I needed a student loan.
But then also you was restricted as well because another thing that we didn't realise is that to go to any college that does like a variety of styles, so like Erdang Bird, all that, you have to do a singing audition.
Absolutely, you got to sing on the audition.
Like, yes, we did musical theatre, but we never got told the importance of doing
and also,
singing
like,
lessons.
Training it.
Yeah, training.
We never got trained vocally. We just sang.
Singing, because you might have to do a singing audition to get into college. So even if I had decided to go to college, I would have ended up at Rambert or something like that even though I wouldn't have wanted to do that because I'm more jazz, commercial, everything else.
Well, this is the thing. Like, I was thinking that, I could go to these schools, but I was like, well, I'm limited because I really don't want to sing on the audition.
Because, and we feel the same with that. And I think if we had training, we would have been okay.
Yeah, because we would have had literally a whole plethora to choose from. Realistically, like, I'm happy with the school that I went to because even when I went to Rambert, I didn't realise that Rambert was a really prestigious school at the time.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean, like, we didn't know anything about the industry.
Yeah.
So, like, when I got my audition for Rambert, like, I didn't know that was a big deal until, obviously, I spoke to my teachers at the school that we were training at and obviously told them, and they were like, whoa, like, this is crazy. So, yeah, I essentially got the audition at Rambert, went there in the end. But, like, my thought is, like, if you hadn't even had done your teaching and kind of just, like, had that year to just be, you could have come to uni with me.
Yeah, I could have just gone the year after.
But obviously, you'd already been forced or like made more of a suggestion for you to go into the teaching route. And obviously, you didn't want to spend the year kind of not progressing in any way.
Yeah.
So obviously, you took that opportunity. But realistically, like, they could have been like, well, why don't you go next year?
I don't think anyone even made that aware to me that I could go the year after. I didn't know that was a thing.
It was like you'd missed your opportunity, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like, when I think back now, like, we didn't get told half the things. So, like, now I'm kind of glad that I had that experience, and now I can tell children when I'm teaching and stuff. Like, even from being 11 years old, I make them aware that, like, if they want to go to college when they're 16,
there is colleges you can go to.
Then maybe start doing some singing lessons if you want to do. You don't have to be the best singer, but just enough so that you feel confident to go and do a singing audition.
Yeah. But then on top of that, what I think is really great and commendable about you is that it was always kind of said to us from then on in, if you didn't go to a uni, you weren't going to make it in the industry.
Like, it suddenly became this big thing.
But realistically, Leah didn't go to uni, obviously, in the end. And she's working now as a professional dancer for the most part of a year.
Yeah.
Every single year. Like, she's got her contract now in Greece that's coming up. She goes in March, and she didn't go to a uni. You don't need, like, don't get me wrong, I think it's great, and I think it helps you progress in training.
I think it does, like, because I'll go into this now, so it does make it a bit easier, because you can put on your CV, I've been to this place, and if they do actually take notice of your CV, then we're like, oh, so they trained here. So, but, like, if it's just a random CV like mine, where they're like, well, where did she train? But then you just got to make sure you've got to have, like, a really good show reel. I'm quite lucky that the people that have hired me just thought, yeah, we'll give her a chance. She's got a good show reel. Like, we can see what she's doing. So, and then I showed them what I've got at the audition. Like, you just have to go and do it. I just had a lot of self-motivation to train myself and just keep it going. And, like,
which she's kind of had all her life, realistically. Going back to the very beginning of this conversation, like, from a young age, you were very driven and focused on what you wanted. So, okay. Oh, that was extremely loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. That sounds disgusting, I think.
Sorry, guys. So we just took a quick break because we wanted to re-energize, and I needed to get a list of, like, some cool words. So the next segment, here's what we're going to do. So basically what you'd like to know about Leah is that, maybe not what you'd like to know, but what I'm going to tell you is that she's not good with words. So, like, for example, the reason why this came about and why I'm thinking about doing this as a little segment for us is because this morning I somehow brought up the word anecdote. I think we were talking about the podcast, and I was like, oh, we can just, like, talk about some anecdotes, you know, about, like, life and, like, as training, whatever. And she was like, what's an anecdote? And I'm not being funny, guys. This happens more often than not.
A lot.
Because she somehow just doesn't know words that normal humans should know. And I said to her, I was like, you know what, Leah, it really comes to a point where I wonder if you've gone to school.
No, but this is where I'm a bit surprised, because I was a nerd at school.
Yeah, you're smarter than me.
Like, I got better grades than him.
And I know these words. Right? So what I've done is, do you know what an anecdote is now?
You said something about a story.
Absolutely. See, but I'm teaching her, guys. I'm teaching her. I'm advancing. So what I've done is I've essentially just Googled a list of advanced words, and it kind of goes through the alphabet and, like, picks out some advanced words that we can kind of use. So I'm going to basically choose ones that I definitely know that you should know. And we're going to see if she does. And this is going to be the segment. And then after this, we're going to do word association. So look out for that, because that's going to be funny. Let's pick the first one.
I'm a little bit nervous.
Okay, I've got a good one. So, what does the word ambiguous mean?
Wait, can you use it in a sentence? Is this an option?
Yeah, they've got examples. in a sentence.
All
This
right.
is great, this is.
All right, use
The sentence, the ending of the story was totally ambiguous.
Too obvious? No?
No.
What does it mean?
Are you sure you're going to give up on this?
So the end of the story was
Totally ambiguous.
a letdown.
No. It basically means when something is not clear or something can have more than one meaning.
Oh, so like confusing. No?
Not quite. Like, it's just like something.
Complicated.
It's just not so. It's not something. It's something that's not so thought through, and it kind of leaves it open for interpretation almost. Like, it's not clear. It has, you know.
All right.
Wow.
Great stuff.
Now this one's an easy one.
You think?
Wait, I've just scrolled past it because I read it wrong. Coherent.
Coherent. Is that like someone who can work well with others? No?
No.
What does it mean?
Do you want me to use it in a sentence?
Yeah.
I have a coherent strategy for the exam.
A well thought out.
I'll kind of give you that. Logical, strategic, that kind of thing. Like, if someone's coherent, they're like logical, they're well thought. I guess they're...
Okay, but I think we can establish I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
she
just
had no
guessed
idea.
that.
Yeah, that the sentence helps, you see. Ooh. I know this one, so you should know this one. Next one, cumulative.
That's just a made up word.
Cumulative, no, it's not.
Cumulative. What?
This is what I get, guys. She says that these words are made up, and they're not because they're on this list.
Cumulative. Cumulative. So it can be used for everyone. No?
Close. I'll give you that, I guess.
I'm thinking like communal.
No. Now you've lost it. It says increasing quantity, strength, or effect.
So why was I close with that?
Not too sure. Because an example of it used in a sentence is learning new things is a cumulative process.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna.
That one is quite confusing, I won't lie. Ooh.
See if you know what it is as well, guys. If you're listening.
Yeah,
before
I'm gonna
I
go past
answer.
that one. Ooh, okay. Diligent.
Diligent. I have heard this before, but I'm sure I'm not very good at like saying what they mean. Like,
hence the aim of the game. Diligent.
diligent.
Now it'd be a whole nother thing asking her to spell it. Jesus.
Is it like? No, I might be able to do that. Diligent.
Well, yeah, that's an easy one.
Oh, well done. Right. So diligent. Like.
Yeah.
Is this how I was as a teenager? Quite diligent.
Yes.
Like.
Put it into words.
This is what I mean. I can't find the word. Like, I know what it means, but I can't explain it.
Whenever you're ready.
Right. Can you use a sentence that...
Sure. Max is always a diligent student.
As in, like, they always do what they're told. And, like, no.
Not so much. Not so much.
And, diligent. Or, like, they're...
Come on, you need to get one.
What's the word? They're... It's on the tip of my tongue.
Do you want me to tell you?
No. Wait. Diligent. They use their time wisely. They're smart about it. No? No, that's the other word that was logical.
It says industrious, which I don't know what that means, but then it says hardworking. Someone's diligent, they're hardworking, they're
What did I say before?
focused. You said you didn't say that. I think you just said like does what they're told.
All right,
which isn't really that.
No. I suppose.
What does derive mean?
It's derived from that. It's come from something.
To get or obtain something from something else. Perfect.
I knew that one.
Tick on the board. One to Leah. Perfect. Oh, eccentric. You should know this one.
That's very eccentric, like out there.
Strange or unusual.
Yeah.
Sure, well done.
See, I'm doing good.
Eloquent.
Eloquent. That just makes me think of elegant, but it's not, is it?
It's not that, no. This is an easy one.
Eloquent.
Yeah.
Use it in a sentence.
She is so honest and gave... No, because this is going to give it away. I can't.
Is it like someone that's like graceful?
No. It's usually
Good manners.
It's usually something is eloquent about a person. I can say that.
What? Beautiful.
No. Fluent in speaking or writing / giving a clear or strong message. Like their message was eloquent, like it was to the point, it was clear.
Oh, okay. So that's the opposite of what you told me earlier.
Yes, totally. Ooh, you're so not going to know this one. Emancipation.
No idea. It gives me like rude.
I swear there's a movie, like The Emancipation of Someone. I think that's a movie. I'm not sure.
Is it a rude word?
It says liberation, in brackets, free from legal, social, or political restrictions. So it's to emancipate someone. It's kind of to like say like someone was on trial for something. If they got off with it, you could say like they've been emancipated from these allegations.
Guys, I promise you I'm not stupid. All right. Because this is making me look really bad.
Well, this is the whole point. It's really
And you
fun.
know all these words. Let me test you on one, shall we?
No, this is not that game. You're the one with the issue here. Fabricate. You should know this.
Like make something up.
Correct.
I know that because like
Frugal.
fabricate evidence.
Frugal.
Something is frugal.
Yeah. Some would say, I'm not frugal. You probably are more frugal than I am. Liam is very frugal.
Like passive. Like
No.
No? I'm sorry, Liam.
Liam's passive.
Frugal.
Yeah. Do you want me to use it in a
Quiet?
sentence? No. They are honest but frugal.
Honest but rude.
No. Frugal means a person who only spends money when it is necessary.
What? So a Scrooge?
Essentially, yeah. If you want to go that way, yeah.
I'm gonna use that word. I like that word.
Yeah, frugal.
Frugal.
Like if someone's tight, you're frugal.
Oh, you're frugal. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that.
Okay, great.
Okay, one more.
Humility.
Humility. No, that just made me think of humidity. Humility. Humility. Can you use it in a sentence?
Everyone knows that humility is the beginning of the wisdom. That doesn't make sense, but that's what they've given as an example.
Great. Is it like people that are like kind and giving?
Almost, yeah. It says quality of being humble.
What's humble mean?
A bonus one. You don't know what a humble person is? Like, not a big ad. Like, you're humble. You don't brag.
Oh, right.
Like, if you're really successful, you're humble about it. Ooh. Do you want to just try and guess what the Z word is? Because I don't even think I know. Zeal.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Show zeal on the occasion of a festival.
What? Show zeal?
I didn't know what this one meant. Enthusiasm just means like showing enthusiasm for something. You're showing zeal.
Oh, well, that's a new one for us
That
all,
is a
I'm
new
sure.
word. Right. Well, that's that. I'd say you did okay.
Yeah.
We started off on a rocky road. Oh, God, rocky road. Fuck me up. Guys, I love rocky road.
My cheat day today. So
Anyway.
some snacks.
Last thing. I want to play a word association round. Or like 5. Because I did this with my mum. Very fun game. Underrated, I feel like. Not enough people play word association.
I feel like, because I watched it when you did it with my mum, but I feel like I get in my head too much.
Well, the thing is, you've got to cast the net wide. I feel like that's the best thing with this game, is just to like literally go as far as you can go with something.
Think outside the box.
Yeah, because it gives you more options. So rules are, we get 3 seconds to think if need be.
Okay.
You can't say a word twice.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Ready? Do you want to go with the first word?
Toy.
Car.
Wheel.
Travel.
Plane.
Sky.
Grass.
I'm not sure they link.
I was thinking nature, sky, and then the ground, the opposite. But then I just thought grass. I didn't think
That's too far. I think that's. I think you cast that net and it just went right.
Okay.
I'll go with the next word. Light.
Dark.
Wow. Night.
Moon.
Planets.
Stars.
Star sign.
Pisces.
Leo. You can go somewhere with this. I thought you farted a minute ago. Gay.
Rainbow.
Pride.
Gluttony. What's that?
No, it kind of works. The 7 deadly sins.
What's the other ones?
No, don't just name another one. You've lost. I'm afraid you've lost. You've really pigeonholed us there. Gluttony. What is the act of being a glutton? Is it like food, like overeating and stuff, or like overindulging, I think?
Yeah, I think so.
I should have asked you that, shouldn't I?
Vest.
Keep
It
thinking
is the chair. It is the chair with my leg.
Warm.
Cold.
Ice.
I knew you were going to say that. Icicle pop.
Icicle pop. I've never heard you say that before. Now, if you'd have said like ice pop, sure. But an icicle pop.
I'm crying. Okay.
A treat.
A treat. What?
I'm carrying on with the icicle pop.
I can't see you right now. Okay, it's a treat.
Mm-hmm.
Jam.
What? A charm?
A jam.
Oh, jam? How is that a treat? Of all the treats you could have said, Leah, you're literally crying.
I know. I'm so bad at this game.
Technology.
Computer.
Keyboard.
Desk.
Office.
Light.
Sure. Building.
Train station. Pizza.
Food.
Well, that was
Castanet wide. Five Guys.
McDonald's.
Great. Chicken nuggets.
A hen.
Right. Veganism.
Milk.
Udder.
A farm.
Oh, nice. Pigs.
Nice. Sheep.
Dog. Sheepdog. You know? The dog herds the sheep, right?
Okay, pet.
Nice. Hamster.
Cage.
Zoo.
Giraffe.
Long. That's perfect. That's got us off that topic.
Road.
A long road. Okay, sure. Industrial.
Okay. Machine.
Oh, I was thinking machine. Sewing.
Clothes.
Fabric.
Wool.
Mittens.
Ow,
Mittens.
I'm sorry, that was more than 3 seconds.
Right, do we do one more and then we'll call it quits?
Yeah.
Because this has been a long episode. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm not that sorry.
Letter. Oh.
Sorry, I've got a tickle. A letter.
Yeah.
What kind of letter?
Just take the word. Letter.
Okay. The kitchen sink.
Podcast.
Sound.
Voice.
Screaming.
Loud.
Quiet.
Mouse.
Rat.
Streets.
New York.
Buildings.
Empire State.
Okay.
It's a building.
Tall.
Sky.
Okay. I don't think the sky is tall, but you
But
know.
like, if you're tall, you're up in the sky.
All right. Clouds.
Airplane.
Skydive.
Falling.
Parachute.
Air.
Water.
Fire.
Earth.
I knew you were going to go there. Soil.
Mud.
I feel like that's a synonym.
That wasn't a rule. You didn't say that was a rule.
True. So mud. Pig.
Cow.
Leah again. Udders.
Bradley. Farmer.
Hoe.
Hoe.
They hoe the fields.
I was thinking of another hoe.
You can take it there. It's fine. It's a word.
A brothel.
Oh. Sex work.
Oh. A man.
Sure. Money.
I was going to say cash.
No, that's not
Bank.
on. Finance.
Savings.
Rich.
Poor.
Bastard. Les Miserables.
Maybe it's a Rabelais.
I can say it.
Anne Hathaway.
Actress.
Devil Wears Prada.
That doesn't link to just actress.
It does. It's got actresses in it.
Fashion.
Okay. Heels.
Of all the things you could have said. Fashion, heels. Wedge.
Door.
Bastard. I feel like we've had door already.
No, we haven't.
Okay. Open.
Closed.
Fuck it. Legs.
Arms.
Ears. Mouth.
Teeth.
Tongue.
Short. I'm short-tongued.
No, I don't think that's the thing. I think that's where we'll call it.
All right.
Well, this has been this episode of The Kitchen Sink. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be a long one because I doubt I'll split it into two halves because that's boring.
Yeah.
May as well just have a long
I'm sorry,
episode.
I do ramble on sometimes.
No, it's fun. Look, people like the long content. People like to sit there and chat.
Yeah.
So
I had things to say.
yeah.
So.
So hopefully you enjoyed this very, very long episode. Comment down below if you'd like Leah to come back because I'm sure we could come back and talk about random shit. Mm-hmm. Maybe when I come through and visit you in Greece, we could do an episode remotely in Greece.
Yeah. Because this one, it was less like more like asking like, what's your favourite singer?
Yeah.
It's more getting into
The thick of it.
the deep stuff.
And like growing up together more or less
Yeah.
in like our relationship. But this has been really fun. I've enjoyed it. We're now going to go and film a video for the channel that you'll probably see after this, I imagine. Mm-hmm. Maybe after or before, I'm not sure. But we're going to go film it now. It's very exciting. So we'll see you soon on that end.
Yeah.
But have you enjoyed yourself?
Yeah, it's been fun actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, not gonna lie, because I nearly cried at the deep bit. And I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't.
And yeah, and then I've actually cried from laughing. So
Yeah. So we've really been through it here on The Kitchen Sink, and I hope you once again you've enjoyed this episode. And I will see you next week. This is another episode down the drain.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot that you say that.
Bye.
Bye.